now in the Entity 7, you know, so it is always it's also important to keep that in mind, that Alpha7 is a victim also from the old Black Sentence private. Funny, yeah, they were respecting Flick. So sorry.
I'm wondering because I see Alpha7. I seen it talked about a little bit in the north, but Alpha7 does not have a coach listed. And I wonder if that kind of maybe, for me personally, if I put it on paper, I feel like Global Ban benefits a team with coaches more, just because you take that pressure off of the players of having to keep track of who is banned, who did we use already, who can't I use now, and who can I use to counter in the next game. But I want to say, when it comes to a player understanding their own role and being able to make their own decisions on what they can best perform with, what they know how to do with on their own. Sometimes a coach can sometimes maybe get in the way of that, because a coach can kind of like, this would be the ideal composition. And sometimes maybe that might not take into consideration what a lot of these people are very comfortable playing on. So maybe that's that might be something to consider here as we're moving into this second game.
They are for sure target banning that Fanny. So they're really afraid of this.
Yeah. But you guys want to know a funny fact? One of the coach that also worked in Alpha7, now it's in the 9Z Globant. Cabral. He did a great job in Alpha7, and now he is working on 9Z Globant. He was a coach. If I'm not wrong, it wasn't in the last season, but the last year he was a coach for Alpha7, you know. Now Alpha7 is working with no coach so far until now, but let's see what is going to happen through the tournament. Now here we can see the banning phase with Fovios and Valentina for 9Z Globant. And we're seeing now Alpha7 guaranteeing the banning for Freya and Zumshi. Freya with a 100% of a banning these days.
They just left open Sora, and Valentina is banned.
The clouds are ever shifting.
Wow, they're totally going to pick that up for sure. Oh, there it is. There it is.
I saw them kind of hesitate on that last ban. I think they noticed that Sora is open, but where does the priority land for this team? Is there something else, the Fredrin or the Boxia, which has been a very, I want to say that's been a prime ban for both the North and South. So yeah, they're gonna go ahead and especially with the Valentina taken off the board, so there's no actual counter for the Sora. But as we've seen here tonight, Sora isn't the end-all be-all. There is, I mean, you can overwhelm the team to the point that Sora isn't going to be as much of a factor.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, but now the response for...
Oh, you see Marcel now. Let's see if Alpha7 can do something with him. Oh, Terizla though. I love Terizla. That was a different pick for sure. I haven't seen him.
1-1 here in the game. We're heading for the third game here. The third and the decisive one.
Jokes aside, I'm just kidding. But now he comes with the Terizla and Marcel to Alpha7. The first time here for Terizla here. I think that is going to be interesting to see this Terizla versus Sora. But I think that the matchup here can be not so good for Terizla, but I think that the penalty zone can be a very good situation for Alpha7, depending on the execution in that composition, Private.
Terizla's pretty slow. His movements are slow. Like you're saying, I don't know if that's going to be any good against the Sora.
Yeah, it's a really interesting put up there too, that and maybe that's the reason that Marcel's out there, is that if you kind of combine the slowness of Terizla with a golden hour, you have a Terizla that's going to be able to possibly connect on there. I think this is going to be our first outing of a Chang'e out here in the AMER tournament as well. That's going to give a lot of dominance for that mid lane. You don't see Chang'e too often, but she has a pretty good clear in that mid lane and a very good speed when it comes to being able to close the distance on some of those side lanes.
They like to choose Chang'e with the Marcel. The duo together is always paired, I see, being chosen together. I think for the fact that it works really well with her also, I guess, you know, that's, I always see those paired together. So I wonder if they can, what they're gonna do with that. This might be the win that Marcel needs.
Yeah, as Chang used to say, let's play together. You know, that can be, that can make sense for Alpha7 execution here. But now we were heading for the banning phase, the last banning phase with the Harriet. Now we're seeing 19 Globant guaranteeing the banning for Granger. There's another one here that could play very good and very well with Marcel. Now they have Shangi. But now we're seeing and waiting for the final ban for Alpha7, assuming that there's still remaining the jungle and the gold lane. But you know, guys, you can call me lunatic, but maybe
Okay, lunatic.
this Sora can be in a gold lane. You know, we saw this happening.
We've seen it before in the gold lane as well, especially. But I'm not a big fan of Sora in the gold lane, only because I feel like Sora's biggest weakness is being kited away, which a lot of marksmen pretty much specialize in. The one thing that kind of sticks out to me is that Chang'e, we don't see her too often, but Marcel's ultimate stops, doesn't stop, but it pauses ranged attacks. So if we're talking about a meteor shower coming out from Chang'e onto a target, it usually takes a little bit of time for you to kind of rain down the damage, start getting those stacks on from a Genius Wand or a Glowing Wand. But here, if you kind of get it, if you time that well with Marcel's ultimate, you're gonna have a huge amount of damage that's just gonna wash through after that ultimate clears.
Yeah.
Your talent is picking.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm hearing a Guinevere here that can be. I think that it could be for. Yes, it goes for Alpha7. So that we have a higher possibility here for being the jungle for Flick. And now we're waiting for the final choices for 9Z Globant to finish that composition. I was also thinking about like they could ban Suyu here for 90 Globant, and that's what happened. They didn't want to see that hero on Flick's hand. Alpha7 already, they also banned Leomord here, another jungle possibility pick. And now let's see what is a 90 Globant's about to choose to finish that composition.
I don't know.
I am sovereign of the abyss.
Yeah, I was gonna say this Fredrin is definitely an option.
Oh, there it is.
And oh, look at it. Look at we're gonna switch positions tomorrow. You're gonna be wearing the fancy jacket tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
As they go ahead and pair that up with the Obsidia as well. Still waiting. I mean, I'm going to assume that the Guinevere is going to be the jungler for the side of Alpha7. We're just waiting for that. I guess the gold lane. I was going to say the marksman there. Yep, and that's going to be the Claude coming out there as well. So it's going to be very interesting. We've talked about this before. Is this going to be the match that gets Marcel out of the 0% win rate?
Yeah, the pair might do it.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Let's see if it is going to happen. It is a second game here. Alpha7 versus 9Z Globant.
This one can be anyone's game for sure. Both of their lineups are really good, and I like the fact that they have Marcel with the Changi, and they have Sora and Fredrin on the other team, Hilda, to kind of give that early game kind of harassment. So hey, this might be a fight. big fight.
That might be a fight. That might be everything here. Xena in the second game from 9Z Globant versus Alpha7. Everybody, once again, welcome to the Land of Dawn. For this, that could be, that might be or could be the last game for today. 9Z Globant versus Alpha7. It is 1-0 for Alpha7 so far. So let's go, Private Dancer.
Yeah, and a big thing for me right now is looking when it comes to the early game. The pressure that you can actually exert onto Flick actually seems pretty valid, especially with a Hilda on your team to be able to kind of go against Flick, who's actually very squishy, especially before they get that level 4. Albo Crazy kind of had a little bit of a rough game. Ooh, Paquito taking a decent amount of damage. He's going to get a little bit of a slow route onto both Albo Crazy and Fashion, but now trying to look for a little bit of an advantage in that early game, taking 2 tower shots is Albo Crazy. Flick comes in from the side, might be looking for a little bit of an engagement in there as Paquito goes in and dashes his way to safety.
Yeah, the first minute here, I think that the both teams are focused in getting farm, getting the first level here, especially for the junglers, Flick and Luizinho, reach the level 4 as faster as they can, just to, I mean, they can fight the turtle way much better with the ultimate here that can create some opportunity for both teams. And we're seeing now in the bottom lane, Upatizi versus Gusta Lagusta is a Cloud versus Obsidia. 2 Marksmen with a very strong late game. But Chino now, it is taking so much pressure for Hesu. And maybe they are setting things for the first turtle that is heading up in the top side of the river, Private.
Yeah, the only thing I'm really concerned about is kind of coming in with that Violet Requiem and getting the pop-up. You're not actually aiming for Luizinho. Ooh, actually, as we talk about that, we do have a little bit of a skirmish coming in. Big pop-up does land onto 9Z Globant, and we do have a Violet Requiem comes out there. I was just about to talk about, are you going to be able to kill the Fredrin? But with the mixed up damage of the Chang'e for Frost Lane Eve, it is going to be more than enough to bring down Luizinho. That's going to bring this to a 1-1 game, but that first turtle going over to Alpha7.
So many things happening to Flick. He gets the turtle, he gets the kill, he's taken down for Alpha7, 1-1 so far. But Paquito, he can't sense the danger because he's a Marcel. At this point of the game, and with the very early game, Marcel is not so resistant. He's not so like tanky or something like that. So he has to take care, he has to pay attention of that situation. But now he heads back to the base. He is heading out in the jungle. He is now taking part with the team's teammates because another team fight is happening, Private.
Another Violet Requiem followed by a big pop-up there, and the Meteor Shower coming up from Frost Lane Eve. Frost Lane, was that a Sky Piercer I just saw Frost Lane Eve get as a first item?
I didn't see, actually. I didn't see, to be honest, but Sky Pierce. I mean, I think that even if you let roamers do Sky Pierce, they do. It's something very insane. Oh, Meteor Shower. Okay. Just to cut in the grass, I guess.
Yeah, just getting a little gardening work in there, I guess. Especially with I guess the cooldown, not a big difference for Alpha7 here, but they are at a pretty commanding. I don't want to say commanding. It's about 1K, but you're at about the 4-minute mark, so it's pretty early to be getting a lead. Paquito goes in, does put a little. Oh, actually catches it with the golden hour, and look at the damage from the Meteor Shower. Followed up by the big Violet Requiem coming in from Flick. Paquito's gonna have to go back to the safety of the tower, but this is what we were talking about. Getting that golden hour plus the Meteor Shower and the damage from Flick is just too much on the back end. Flick in trouble. Chino finds himself a target, and now Alpha7 is without a jungler and without a retribution.
All for nothing. All for nothing. All the execution for Alpha7 in the mid lane, that was a very, very good. But Flink, it's surprised. Cake was taken down, and with no retribution, it is so hard and it's so difficult for Alpha7 to fight back the turtle. As we see now, once again, the items here, corrosion for Obsidia. And the Demon Hunter for Claude. Once again, 9Z Globant trying to fight as even with Alpha7.
Yeah, I like the game plan here. I feel like the Terizla, I'm gonna have to see where we're wanting to slot it in. Terizla is losing to Chino on this Sora, and that's allowing Sora to rotate in the enemy jungle and surprise Flick when he was just trying to get a minion in his jungle, and that's unfortunate when it comes to this kind of composition here. A little bit of a feistiness here at the mid lane as Paquito diving in between two members, trying to get a little bit of that slow there, keeping Alboro crazy at bay here underneath the river. You can see Gusta Lagusta waiting for an opportunity. And no worse for wear is either side on the map. 2 to 3 right now, just narrowly ahead is Alpha7.
Yeah, you said it. Sky Pierce for Changi here, the first item for Frost La Neve in the Alpha7. You know the funny fact here, the people in the chat are not happy with the Changi choice here. But so far, it's working well with this idea of execution of Alpha7. But now here comes the trying
to get that golden hour, misses it, does find the Violet Requiem. Is that going to be a kill? Down goes Sora. Chino is down. We do see another meteor shower trying to last some damage there. A great wombo combo there comes in the form of a great ultimate coming from Hesu, and then the Violet Requiem coming in from Flick. So you got the penalty zone, and you got another pop-up coming in from Flick. So you have options. I guess I see the use because you have that small pop-up that comes with the penalty zone. Speaking of which, a big ultimate coming in from the backside. Upatizi spraying on the damage onto the backside, but Alpha7 might have bit off a little bit more than Naked Shoe. Are going to have to turn away from that jungle, but not without securing themselves a turtle.
That could be very worse for Alpha7, especially with that missed golden hour in the turret, you know. But everything went the opposite. You know, a lot of things went well for Alpha7. They guaranteed the turret, then now we're taking down the turret in the top side here. But they have to take care. They have to be aware about, like, especially that execution, especially with Marcel here. So, okay, so far, everything, or at least a lot of things, or most of the things are good and are happening for luck for Alpha7, you know, but they have to, like, I think that they have to be more careful about that.
Yeah, there's just little things that they're kind of losing out to. Right now, they still have all of their towers. We're able to go ahead and take one down up at top. You can see that Sora of Chino is going to have to go ahead and clear that out as well. Still 60 seconds left before the Lord comes out. A 2 and 4 lead. So this isn't completely out of the hands of 9Z Globant just yet. Just under a 2K gold lead for Alpha7 here at the 8-minute mark. Flick and Paquito waiting for an opportunity. Oh, they do find it! And the Violet Requiem mixed with the meteor shower, but is missing a lot of the targets on the backside. Upatizi comes in with a blazing duet. Is he going to be able to take out Gusta Lagusta? He is not, and on the backside, Alpha7 spraying on damage to 9Z Globant, which is going to go ahead and open up this tower on the bottom side for Alpha7.
Yeah, another turret here for Alpha7. They were taking the action once again. They were trying to take down the players for 9Z Globant. They didn't do that. They couldn't do that, but the result is still positive for Alpha7, letting down the turret in the bottom lane. And now the focus might be in the mid lane here to try and take it down. But the Lord, the first one, is on the pit. Is on the bottom side of the river. And both teams now are aware. But so far, Alpha7, I think that they have a better domination of the situation.
Yeah, but you do have, you can see right there, Hesu on the Terizla is up at the top having to clear lane. So they do know that this is going to be basically an uneven fight. That they're going to try to go in on. Ooh, Paquito does go in, finds 2 members, is able to kind of land on that stun with his passive. Taking down the Lord to about 50% is 9Z Globant. Alpha7 looking for an angle, looking to go in, does catch themselves a little bit of a golden hour. Frost lane comes in, does find a little bit of damage with the Violet Requiem. Flick looking for an escape, is able to get away, but in comes Frost Lane Eve is able to find themselves a kill onto it. I'm not even sure who got that Lord. It looks like it was 9Z Globant, but it does cost him a little bit of a kill and a tower.
Gustav, oh, here comes once again here, Private. Luizinho is in trouble, but he's a fragile. He's a resistant one. But, my friend, you know who stole the Lord? It was Gustav Lagusta with Obsidia. You know, like, I think that Flick missed the retribution, and it was for 9Z Globant so far. But now the Lord is heading in the bottom lane, but with the Changi and the Meteor Shower here, at least the minions buffed can be cleaned by Alpha7.
A little bit of a hello there coming out from the Paquito. They were going to go ahead and try to close the distance onto this Lord, or 9Z Globant was going to try to close the distance onto Alpha as they dealt with this Lord. Oh, he's going to be able to charge there, put some damage onto that tower there at the bottom. Alpha7 has to deal with it. They do lose a bottom tower. It's going to be the first tower. I believe it's the first tower of the series for Alpha7, as they actually, I think they had all of their towers up in the last game. You can see here with the Meteor Shower, Albaro Crazy actually did something very, very smart there. He tanked most of that Meteor Shower so that Frost Lane Eve was not going to be able to clear that mid lane as easily with just the Meteor Shower. So that allowed some of the minions to go in there, at least start putting a little bit of damage onto that mid lane, start getting them some type of macro in these lanes.
Yeah, we saw also the glowing one in Frost's hand, you know, just a little bit of like this top healing and guaranteeing the burning for that situation. But now here comes the Paquito. Meteor Shower once again, Private Dancer. Oh,
yeah, we do have a penalty zone that comes out there. Upatista finds a kill onto Chino as they continue on there. Flick takes a decent amount of damage. He's going to be able to dash their way to safety, but the Obsidia is doing a great job. Gusto Lagusto actually put on a huge amount of damage that did back off Alpha7 from getting a huge amount of momentum on their side. They're only going to be able to walk away with one kill on their side, but the gold lead is expanding to about 4K with a few, I want to say 30 seconds left until the next Lord comes up. They do have another Meteor Shower comes out. If they catch Albaro Crazy again as Flick takes down a tier 2 tower up at the top.
Paquito, yeah, so he's playing aggressive once again here. I was wondering how long is the ultimate from Changi, the cooldown, you know, because I think that it is I think that is like 7 or 8 seconds, because it is so fast that he can spam the ultimate so many times and
yeah, no at the bottom lane. Yeah, Upatizi just dove in with that BMI to be able to take down Gusto Lagusta. That's going to be a big point of damage that you are not going to have as 9Z Globant, especially for this Lord coming up as Alpha7. You can see them already starting to set up there, while Hesu in the mid lane doing his best to kind of keep the rest of the team at bay. Now looking to go ahead, set their sights onto this tier 2 tower as they clean up that Lord easily with no contention from 9Z Globant. Ooh, that's a little bit of a missed golden hour right there. Another Meteor Shower comes out underneath the tower. Look at the damage coming out. Black Shoes activated by Feshin as the rest of Alpha7 disengage.
Yeah, nothing for 9Z Globant, my friend. No Lord, no purple buff, no jungle resource, nothing to 9Z Globant so far. Alpha7 once again playing so aggressive, while the Lord is heading this time at the top side. But Hesu, what are you doing there? Okay.
Oh, yeah, they're going to go ahead and dive underneath this tower. Their whole main goal is to just push back 9Z Globant so that they can go ahead, get that macro, and push onto the tower. And only high ground towers left for 9Z Globant. Big pop-up does land. Oh, and a good golden hour catches 3 members of 9Z Globant down. Goes Chino. Frost Lane Eve with another kill. They're sitting at 3-0 and a 5. Top tower does get crashed into by the Lord, while 9Z Globant looking for an angle to come come in here. Another meteor shower from the flank. Nanzi Globant trying to back off. They have to deal with the Lord. All minions starting to crash in the bottom high ground tower as the rest of Alpha7 looking to focus in onto this core. Oh, Patizi coming into the back lane with that blazing duet. 50% looking to take down this core. They're very low. Is Alpha7 going to be able to continue to do it? 20% damage coming out from Gusta Lagusta, and backing away is Alpha7 very wisely. As you can see, a lot of them taking almost down to about 10% and living to fight another day, even with the core down at 20%.
Yeah, the base here for 90 Globant is so injured and is so damaged. But now they can defend. They are able to defend the base so far, but there is no line of defense on the turret. You know, there's no high ground. There is no protection. The only that remains for 90 Globant here is the hope. Is the magic for reverse that situation so far. 35 seconds remaining for the next Lord, and Alpha7 has all the advantage here. Only one turret taken down by 9Z Globant. And we can see Flick here dancing with the recall, you know, like, okay, we are so confident so far that we can do this kind of thing. So okay, 90 Globant here has to wait for like a mistake for Alpha7. You know, not only one mistake, it's a couple of mistakes actually.
Yeah, they need to wait for a meteor to land on the side of Alpha7 and take out most of the members there right now. They have been executing, especially when it comes to this Marcel, who they had a great game plan to come in onto him to be able to kind of match up that damage, especially when it comes to Frost Lane Eve. Albero Crazy taking a little bit of damage there as Paquito comes in there trying to put on that slow. Albero Crazy just doing the best that they can to try to get some vision onto this Lord. But Alpha7, they're dragging it out. They want this fight to happen. They want to get this engagement with 9Z Globant, but they're not taking the bait just yet. You can see them getting it down to about 50%. Paquito comes in, puts a little bit of a stun there onto Luisenho from the back end. Oh, we have a golden hour that just missed. Oh, Chonge. Oh, but Luisenho actually gets out of the way of that. So they're going to be able to pull out this Lord and reset it once again. Oh, it's down to about 50%. I don't know if they actually realize from the side of Alpha7 that this is actually getting very low. Albero Crazy taken very low, down to 25%, down to 10%. Is that going to be enough? Looking for the flicker on the back end. Luisenho gets taken down. That's going to be the retribution for 9Z Globant as the rest of Alpha7 looking to engage onto them. Chino down for the count as the Lord goes to Alpha7 on the back end. It's just Fashion alone against 4 members of Alpha7. Albero Crazy, Gusta Lagusta alone to try to defend this core. And ladies and gentlemen, a clean sweep for Alpha7.
And a clean sweep, a clean victory for him. He deserved so much. Marcel with almost a 0% of win rate. It was with almost 0%, but now he got the first victory, at least for today. Xena 2-0 for Alpha7.
You know, that unstoppable pair, the Chang'e with the Marcel. It came in clutch, now you know. For him to get his win, he needs to be paired up with a Chang'e.
I want to say this composition that kind of came out, there were a lot of question marks on our faces when we saw it. Terizla came out, Chang'e came out, Marcel, who hadn't had a great game. But all of this really kind of just fits so well together in this just as ingredients. The Terizla able to get the penalty zone, which would hold somebody kind of in the same spot, also acted as a pop-up that would help activate the Violet Requiem coming in from the Guinevere. Having the Chang'e on the team, who teamed up with the Marcel, meant that you had this huge amount of damage that was just stacking up, waiting to lay onto somebody. And if that didn't get the job done, right after the golden hour ended, the Guinevere was able to come in with the jump and find a Violet Requiem as well. So just all of this just kind of meshed so well together. So a great job there by Alpha7.
And in all these things, it doesn't work we still have the blazing duet from Opatizi to cause damage in the back line of the team fight, you know. So
Yes.
Alpha7 came through a very good plan, Xena.
Yes, they were really good on setting everything up. Like you said, all of them worked together. They had that synergy, and they used that to their advantage.
Yeah, as we take a look at some of the stats here, 6-0 and 5 for Frost, Elaine, Eve there, 2-0 and 3 for Upatizi, even Paquito on that on the Marcel, 0-0 and 10. Hesu acting as the secondary support there, 0-0 and 10. Just everybody kind of executed on a level that just absolutely overwhelmed 9Z Globant.
Yeah, and we're seeing the highlights here also for Alpha7, guaranteeing the first blood, guaranteeing the objectives, and the execution that came through very well to Alpha7. We can see the jump for Guinevere, the Reckon Violet, with the Meteor Shower for Shanky, and the Golden Hour. So there's so many ways, like AoE and crowd control for Alpha7 composition that came through like a very a clean idea for execution so far for Alpha7. I mean, like 9Z Globant, they fought well against all situations, but still Alpha7, as we were saying, especially with the synergy, batting playing together with so long, and the Paquito acquisition here to get the team stronger, the lineup stronger, that can be a very interesting for Alpha7 through the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, honestly, this is, the more I think about it, the more I love this composition, because there were just so many boxes that helped each player in there, whether it meant CCing them so that you could either get a jump or a meteor shower, or the damage that could come out. It just, everything kind of worked out so well that there just was no way for 9Z Globant to get ahead. And unfortunately, it really kind of turned off to Albaro Crazy to try to tank all of that in the front line. But as we take a look at the MVP, it's no surprise, Frost, Lane, Eve gonna go ahead and scoop that up, 6-0 and 5 and 624 gold per minute.
Yeah, the training came in clutch, right? The pick that no one thought to see.
Especially with the first item as in his Sky Pierce here, like, okay, what a surprise for everyone. But it's still, so bad. There was a few people in the chat that say, hey, Changi is a bad pick here, why picking Changi? But for the idea that Private Dancer, he explained it so well, it was like, it makes